Well, I feel when I'm so far from the screen, I feel like I can't see everybody as closely, but I don't think I can bring my computer closer, right?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of the things that's unfortunate about being there. You are kind of far from your screen.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday morning. I hope everyone has sunshine where they are. I was mentioning earlier that I thought it would be fun. Oh, by the way, I'm Laura. I'm subbing for Sandy today. So she's taking some well-deserved time off. And so I thought it'd be fun to change up class today and do a little bit of a different flow. And I thought we would do Journey Through the Chakras. And we all know and see our physical body, and a lot of people don't realize that there's so much more to us than just what we see physically. We have really 4 to 5 layers, which starts with our physical being. It goes to etheric, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And it's actually really neat. The etheric body existed first before our physical body, and that's the matrix and the blueprint, and that decides the shape and structure of our physical body. And so how our energy body works, it's more than just physical, you know, like we eat food to fuel our body. The same thing with energy. We have this energy body, and we either take in positive energy or negative energy. So it all starts around our body in our aura, and then it processes through our chakras. We have 7 well-known chakras that come through our body, and then it gets dispersed through all of our nadis and meridians all throughout our body, and there's thousands of them. And that's why it's so important when we breathe and do breath work, because that comes up our central channel and it gets delivered through all these nadis through our body. That's why it's so important to stay in tune with our breath when we practice, and not even just on the mat, but off the mat. It just keeps the energy flowing through the body and keeping us healthy. So we're going to journey from each chakra and talk a little bit about it, and then do some poses and postures that honor it. So it starts at the very base of the spine, which is the root chakra, and then in your lower abdomen, it's the sacral chakra, and then your upper abdomen is the solar plexus, and then we have our heart chakra, throat chakra, our third eye chakra, and then on the top is our crown chakra. So I thought it would be nice to start with an Mani Mudra breathing practice, because that flows through the chakras. And I want you to visualize the breath as it comes through the body. So I'm going to turn sideways. So how this is going to work is you're going to, when you inhale, the breath is going to come up more the front side of your body, and just, we'll have our eyes closed, but when we're doing this, envision the breath literally starting from your root chakra and moving up through your sacral, your solar, coming through your heart. Then it's going to come up through your throat and the back of the head, and we're going to pause. And then as we exhale, envision it moving forward through your third eye, back down through the throat, and then this time it's going to go through your central channel, which is more in the back of the body. So we're still going to come through the heart, the solar, sacral, the root, and then down into the earth. So it's going to kind of do this loop like this. Okay, so we're going to do this 3 times. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. And when we take the breath in, we want it to be slow, even, and smooth. And then we're going to, like I was mentioning, we're going to pause when we get to the top of our head. And then at the same pace, we're going to exhale, and then going through completing that loop. So when everyone's ready, making sure their sit bones are connected to the earth. You need to move, as Sandy says, that excess flesh down here at the bottom. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, whenever we do breath work, we really want our spine to be tall, not rigid, but nice and elongated, so that breath comes up smoothly and effortlessly. Shoulders back. So you can go ahead and put your hands on your knees and close your eyes. And then let's just start that inhale from the root. So nice, even breath in. Root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, back of the head. Pause. We're going to exhale through the third eye, back through the throat, and now through our sushumna, down our back body, the heart, solar plexus, sacral, root, and into the earth. Inhale up. the root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, and the back of the head. Pause. And exhale forward through the third eye, back down through the throat, and now down by the spine, the heart, solar, sacral, root, and into Mother Earth. And inhale up through the front body, the root, the sacral, the solar, heart, throat, and the back of the head. Pause. And exhale forward through the third eye, throat, and the back body, heart, solar, sacral, root, and into Mother Earth. This breathing balances our body. It balances the left and right hemisphere of the brain. So it's very relaxing and calming, and we should be ready to start our journey. So sitting back at the front of your mat, we're going to start back in Sukhasana, easy seat. And on an inhale, let's lift our hands up to our shoulders. Our elbows should be shoulder height. And then we're just going to make some big circles. Just picture your elbows making a really big circle. So this is great for releasing tension and improving your range of motion in your shoulders. You can reverse it and go the other direction. And then come back up to neutral. And keeping our shoulders back, or elbows at shoulder height. We're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale to your right. And exhale. Inhale, center, and exhale, left. Inhale, center, and exhale to your right. Inhale, center, and exhale to your left. And back to center. And then you can release your hands and just roll your shoulders out and maybe shake them out a little bit. Now let's place our fingertips behind our sacrum, behind our butt. And we're going to push up through our fingertips, again, elongating the spine and bringing our chest up to the sky and our gaze up to the sky. And on the inhale, you're going to inhale to your right and then lift up your right arm. A nice little stretch. Then exhale, bring the hand down to center. Inhale to your left and lift your left arm up. Bring your gaze up, nice little stretch. And exhale, arm down. Inhale to your right, lifting that right arm up, chest up to the sky. And exhale, hand down. And one more time, inhale, lifting your left arm up. And exhale, back to center. And bringing our hands to heart center. We're going to do a little series called Circle of Joy. So we're going to inhale, bringing our arms out in front. And exhale, up, clasping your hands and reversing for a nice stretch. And exhale, the hands behind you, clasping the hands. And then inhale, pushing your fists down, palms together, opening up the chest, the clavicle, and lifting the chest up to the sky. And then on the exhale, you're going to release, bring your hands back to center, rounding your back like in cat-cow, like in cat, bringing navel to spine. And then inhale, bringing arms overhead. And exhale, bringing them behind you, clasping with your other index finger on top, and then straightening, keeping the palms together, lifting the chest. And exhale, releasing that grip, bringing him to forward in front of you. Again, rounding, howling out the belly, feeling a nice stretch in your back body and your back ribs. Inhale, sitting straight up, arms overhead. Exhale, clasp, reversing your grip again. And extending your palms down. And inhale those palms back together, rounding the back. And then inhale, bringing palms back to heart center. All right, so now this we're going to do like a little variation of a sun salutation, but we're going to be staying more on the ground. So we're going to roll over onto our shins and move into Balasana. So you can keep the knees together, sitting on your shins and your heels, and then slowly walk your hands out in front for a gentle stretch of your torso, of your spine, and then go ahead and place your forehead on the mat. Take 2 breaths here, bringing the breath to your back body, feeling those ribs expand, the intercostal muscles that run along them. And now bring your fingertips, your palms up on your fingertips. On an inhale, we're going to gently walk them to your right, stretching out the side body. And inhale, bring them back to center. And inhale to your left. And back to center. And inhale to your right. Back to center. And one more time to your left. And back to center. And now walk your hands up to thunderbolt, sitting on your calves. And then inhale up onto your knees. If your knees are a little sensitive and you have a wrap pad or a blanket that you want to put under your knees, you can do so now. And now, just like in mountain pose, we want to check our alignment. So our knees should be hip width apart, the tops of your feet flat on the mat. If you're more comfortable tucking your toes, feel free to do that. Our hips should be over our knees. You want to lift through the side body, lifting your torso. The top of the shoulder bones back, shoulder blades should be flat on our backs. Maybe bring your hands into cactus. This is a great way to feel those shoulder blades on the back. And this is how we want our back, our expansion of our chest to be, and our shoulder blades. And we can bring our hands down to our side. And we're going to inhale, arms overhead, gaze up, and exhale, coming and sitting on our calves. And inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, coming down to our calves. Inhale up. And one more time, back down to our calves. Getting our quads going here. Inhale up, arms overhead. And this time, exhale, hands by our side body. Now let's take our palms and put them on our sacrum and our backs, on our lower back. And you want to lift through the thoracic spine, your upper back, and open the chest for a micro bend here. And again, we want the shoulders wide, clavicle wide, chest open for a nice heart opener. And we're going to release the hands. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, down. And one more time, bringing the palms of our hand onto our low back. Lifting through our thoracic spine, and again, a little micro bend, chest up to the sky. And exhale, hands down to our sides, and walk your hands up like 3/4 of the way up your mat. And what we're going to do is lift our heels and bring them to our bum. So check your hands, they should be under your shoulders. If they're not, take a second to adjust them. So we want a nice, strong, straight line from our knees all the way up to our head. Our abdominal muscles are engaged, navel to spine, elbows close to our body. And we're going to slowly come down, push up, hover, and then push back up. And we're going to do that one more time in a nice straight line, elbows close, hover, push back up. And this time we're going to slowly lower and then come down to our bellies. So come on down and then straighten the legs, the top of the feet onto the mat, keeping your hands where they are. We're going to push into the mat, isometrically pull them back towards our feet. At the same time, we're going to pull our shoulders and head forward, pulling up for Cobra pose, Mudasana. Nice and strong, elbows in, and exhale, chest down to the mat. And this time, place your forearms in front, preparing for Sphinx. You want your arms parallel. Your elbows should be under your shoulders. Fingertips right in front. And again, you want to be pushing in the tops of your feet, engaging your quads. And in the same fashion, we're going to isometrically pull our forearms into the mat and back as we pull our chest up and open. And again, we want to open the clavicles and the shoulders and gaze forward for a nice strong Sphinx pose. And exhale here, bringing your hands back by your ribs, by your chest, bringing your heels back to your butt, elbows in, and nice strong inhale. We're going to be pushing through our hands, pushing up through that push up again. So inhale, push up, straight body. Now we're going to go ahead and push back into our Balasana. And take 2 slow breaths here. Again, bringing that breath to your back body, really feeling the expansion. And on the inhale, you can go ahead and sit up and move through tabletop and coming to easy seat. And again, we want to make sure our sit bones, again, are rooted to the earth, sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to start our journey now. We're going to start with the root chakra. Again, it's at the very, very base of our spine, and its color is red. And when the root chakra is balanced, we feel very grounded, safe, secure. And when the root chakra is imbalanced, a lot of people tend to feel fear, worry, insecurity. And, you know, with everything that's going on now, there's a lot of insecurity and fear and worry going on. So it's important to really be grounded, be in nature, go in the woods. You know, I did talk about our body actually, when it's in a healthy state, vibrates at 6.5 to 7.5 megahertz. And the earth vibrates at that same megahertz. So when people say when you're feeling out of sorts and they say go take a walk on the beach or go take a walk in nature, that's why it grounds you, it brings you back to the vibration that you should be at, that keeps you healthy. So we really want to stay rooted, and it's a perfect time now when it's not so blustery to be outside and going for a nice walk. So we're going to go ahead and roll forward and go back into Balasana and really feel the earth beneath us. And stretching the arms out in front, bringing our head to the mat. Knowing that we're always supported. And on your next inhale, come up to your knees and tuck your toes, and let's push into our first down dog of the day. Feel free to walk your dog. And get those leg muscles warmed up, the hamstrings, the calves. Make sure you're really gripping the mat with all your fingers wide, almost like you're palming a basketball. You should almost have like a suction cup under your palm. This will distribute the weight in your hand instead of all the weight coming right to the heel of your hand. So pushing through your hands, your shoulders, really lifting your sit bones, feeling that nice extension through your torso. And on the bottom of your next exhale, walk your feet up in between your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, forward fold. And one more time, inhale, halfway. Making sure you're really feeling the extension from your sit bones all the way through the crown of your head with a nice flat back, no rounding. And exhale, forward fold. Lifting your toes and really feeling all 4 corners of your feet connecting to the earth. You want to engage your quadriceps to the bones. Inhale with navel to spine. We're going to inhale up overhead. Nice strong legs, flat back, and gaze up to the sky. And exhale, hands heart center. All right, let's check our feet for a nice strong mountain pose. We're going to move through sun sail A. So we want to feel the earth again grounded underneath us, lifting all the way up from our legs, through our torso, up through our crown. hands by our side. Inhale, nice strong stretch overhead, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to plank. Navel to spine. And we're going to slowly lower down to our bellies, keeping elbows in. And again, pulling through our hands, our chest forward, up for cobra pose. Tucking the toes, moving through our plank, going back to down dog. Feeling that nice extension through the spine. And we're going to inhale, placing our right foot in between our hands, planting our back foot for warrior two, and windmilling our arms up. Taking a moment, let's check our feet, make sure our right heel is in the arch of our left foot. Our left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Make sure your knee is over your ankle. You're muscularly pulling all that energy to your midline. Shoulders over hips, and making sure your triceps are nice and strong, hugging the bone. Gaze over your middle finger. And take a deep breath here. And let's cartwheel our hands down, frame our foot, and move into down dog. One breath here. Inhale, planting the left foot in between your hands and preparing for warrior two on our left side. Check your alignment, making sure you can see your big toe. Your knee should be over your ankle. Nice strong arms. We're warriors after all. Nice. And frame your foot, come back to down dog. And on your exhale, walk your feet up to the wide edges of your mat next to your hands. Bring your heels in 45 degrees. And we're going to come down to yogi squat malasana. If you need to be on your toes or a block, feel free to grab a block and put that underneath you. Hands at heart center and our elbows into our knees, our chest up. So given the time of year it is, I thought it'd be nice to just take a moment here, close your eyes and think of one or two things that you're grateful for, even in this crazy year of 2020 that we're having. There are still many things that we're grateful for. So our family, our friends, the fact that you're here today taking care of yourself, keeping yourself healthy is a huge thing to be grateful for. So go ahead and take a moment. And then you can open your eyes. We're going to release our hands and just put them behind us and come back into the middle of our mat in Sukhasana. So this brings us to our sacral chakra, which is in our lower abdomen, and it's orange. And the sacral chakra is associated with creativity, sexuality, feelings. And when this chakra is out of balance, it could lead to addictions, panic attacks, things of that nature. And so it's important. And that's what's actually so nice about the yoga practice in general, is yoga is constantly working with the chakras and balancing it. That's why yoga is such a perfect form, if you want to say exercise, because it works your body and your mind and your energy body. So we're going to move into some poses that honor the sacral chakra. So let's go ahead and straighten our legs in front of us for Dandasana. And again, checking those sit bones. We always want to be grounded and rooted to the earth. Sitting up nice and tall, pushing our thighs and heels into the mat, feet flexed. We're going to inhale our arms up. And we're going to start to move forward, keeping our back straight. So it's going to be a short range of motion here. We're going to hold it, take another breath. And on that exhale, continue to reach forward with your hands and wherever they naturally lay. If it's on your shins, your feet. We want to bring navel to spine to create space for this bending. And on your next exhale, walk your hands up your legs back to Dandasana. And still lifting the torso up, shoulders up. We're going to do another inhale up. And exhale with that partial forward bend, back straight, breath. And on that exhale, round the back and continue to reach those hands forward. And walk your hands back up to feet. We'll do this one more time. Inhale, arms up overhead. And this time, let's just go ahead and go for it. Reaching forward, folding, and seeing if you can get a little bit farther this time. And take up another breath here. And walking your hands back up. And let's cross our legs just to move through to get to our hands and get into down dog. Remember to push through those hands, through the shoulders, externally rotating the upper arms, shoulder blades flat on the back. And your next exhale, step or walk your feet in between your hands. Inhale halfway. And exhale, forward fold. And again, pushing through all four corners of your feet, bringing navel to spine, strong legs. We're going to inhale, arms and chest overhead. Bring your gaze up to the sky. And exhale, hands heart center. All right, let's move through another Sansao A. Hands by your side. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, planting your hands, stepping back, left foot, right foot. Nice strong plank. Navel to spine, supporting the back. Rock a little bit forward. You can move through, come down to cobra, or feel free to move through up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, push, down dog. See if you can get your heels closer to the floor. Stretching those quad or the hamstrings, the calves. And on your inhale, step your right foot in between your hands and coming up for warrior two. Checking those feet, making sure the back foot is parallel to the back of your mat. See if you can get into a deeper bend in the right leg, chest up. And now gazing over your middle finger, flip your palm up. And energetically reaching out and up with that palm. Keep your gaze on your palm as you follow it back for reverse warrior. And continue to breathe. And exhale, back warrior two. Frame your foot, plant your hands and move back to down dog. Lifting those sit bones, feeling that stretch through the torso. And on your inhale, plant your left foot in between your hands and come up for warrior two on your left side. Let's make sure that our chest is open. Legs are strong, firmly rooted into the mat. Getting into a little deeper bend in this leg as well. Flip that palm, and again, energetically reach forward with those fingertips and up and over as you follow your palm over. And exhale, back to warrior two. This time, inhale your front leg straight, and then bringing your toes to be parallel with your back foot. So we should be in a wide angle stance. Now bring your heels in to make your feet 45 degrees. You can bring your hands on your hips. Now checking in on your alignment. We want our hips in line with our ankles. And again, always elongating, lifting up through our torso, shoulders up and back. And let's bring our arms up into cactus. Think you know where we're going with this. Inhale, come down, goddess. You want to keep your chest up over your hips. You don't want your chest forward. Nice, strong quads, belly in, supporting your back. Shoulder blades flat on the back. Continue to breathe. You want to fatigue those muscles and make them stronger. Exhale, straighten legs, 5-point star. Maybe bring your gaze up to the sky. And inhale, coming back down, getting your knees over your ankles, keeping that chest up. Breathe through here. Tailbone should be straight down to the earth. And exhale, up, 5-point star. And one more time. Inhale down. And exhale, 5-point star. And then step your foot to the top of the mat. And this brings us to our solar plexus, which is in the upper abdomen. It's a beautiful golden yellow color. And this is power, confidence, and gut instinct. This is where that expression comes in, trust your gut. That's exactly what it means. And when this chakra is out of balance, a lot of times people have digestive issues, body image issues, anxiety. Anxiety always shows up right here. So this is an important one to keep strong. This is our powerhouse. So we're going to go ahead and standing in a nice tall Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Runaway earbuds. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, just squatting down and coming down to our bums. So we're going to go ahead and move into bridge pose because we want to bring, oh, you know what? Hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Legs in front. We're going to do half Lord of the Fish pose. So this is yogi's choice. If you want to, you can leave your bottom leg straight and cross over, right foot over left, and then we're going to do the twist here. If you're comfortable, then you can go ahead and bend your bottom leg. You're going to bring your left ankle outside your right hip, and then your right ankle next to your left thigh, then we'll reach and twist. So it's yogi's choice, whatever you want to do. So sitting up nice and tall. Again, it's another time when we do twists, you always want your spine to be tall and lengthened. You don't want to be slouched. It's not good to twist your spine when it's in that position. So go ahead and take your foot placement. I'm going to go ahead and bring my left ankle next to outside my right thigh. I'm going to cross my right ankle next to my left thigh. So sitting up nice and tall, check in on your sit bones. They should both be feeling the earth. One shouldn't be lifted. Plant your right fingertips behind you for support and lifting your torso. Big inhale, left arm up and twist to your right, tucking your left arm, your left elbow to your right knee. And gaze to your right, palm facing your right. And take 2 good breaths here. On the exhale of your second breath, see if you can twist your torso just a hair further to the right, like a 1/4 inch. Nothing crazy. And then release the twist, shake out your legs. And let's move to the other side. So again, you choose how you want your leg. I'm going to bring right ankle outside left thigh, left ankle outside right thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. This time the left fingertips go behind you for support and length. Inhale, right arm up. And then exhale, turning to your left, tucking that right elbow to left knee. Making sure those sit bones are still connected to the earth. And again, on that next exhale, see if you can twist that torso just a teeny bit further. And one more breath. And release. Shake out the legs, face forward. I'm going to take a drink really quick if you want to. All right, so this next pose is another great one to honor the solar plexus. It's reverse plank. So you want to lean back. I'll demonstrate first. You're going to lean back and you want your fingers wide, kind of like when we're in down dog. And they should be under your shoulders. You want your heels firmly planted into your mat. And on the inhale, you're going to push strongly through your hands, lifting through your arms and shoulders, and then lifting the hips up. And your gaze should be up, not down in your chest. So you want a nice straight line or wherever you're comfortable. And then we're going to exhale and come down. So go ahead, lean back a little bit, plant your hands under your shoulders. Get a nice wide grip with your fingers, planting those heels in your mat. And then on the inhale, push strongly through your hands, lifting those hips, seeing if you could get them in a straight line. You want to bring navel to spine and gaze up, bringing that solar plexus up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hips down to the earth and sit up and shake out your legs a little bit. Just gently twist right, left. And we'll lean back and do that one more time. Planting the hands, making sure they're under your shoulders. Legs together, heels rooted. And inhale, lifting up. See if you can get your hips up a little bit higher this time. Gaze up. And exhale, bringing your hands down to the mat. Okay, another strong powerhouse pose for the solar plexus is boat pose, Navasana. And I'm going to show a couple of variations because I unfortunately myself, my lower right back is bothering me a little bit. So we're going to do some poses that will strengthen the solar plexus. And so we'll do them, and then I'll give you some time to go into whatever variation boat pose you like. So we want to be on our sit bones with a nice straight back. And you could, depending on how your body feels and what you're feeling today, you can even, if you'd like, to go on your forearms. What we're going to do is bring our shins up, and we're going to do some toe taps. We're going to do them together like this, and then we'll go into straight. So whatever's calling to you today, if you want to sit up, and we can do it in this position, and then you could do both like this. So we're going to go ahead and start with the toe taps. So you could take forearm or sitting up, whatever is comfortable and calling to you. So you can go ahead and get your hand placements, your arm placements, and then bring your knees up to your toes, and inhale, bringing your shins parallel with the mat. And then we're going to do toe tap with the right. Inhale up, left down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then we'll take a break and come forward and sit up for a second. And then move back to the posture you chose. And this time, let's bring our shins parallel to the mat. And we'll do legs together, down and up, down and up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and down. And sit forward again, take a break. And then this time we'll do it with straight legs. Come back to your position and inhale, legs straight in front, down, inhale straight, exhale down, inhale straight, exhale down. And now you guys go ahead and do whatever variation you want. If you want to do boat pose with your arms in front, making sure you're on your sit bones, or you can even do straight legs, but I just don't want to pull the muscle in my back. It's healing. I don't want to aggravate it. So you go ahead and do a moment of what is calling to you. So this is great for the solar plexus. It's great for your abdominal muscles. It's just you find Susan does this a lot in her classes. She's an expert at Navasana. All right, and then you can come down to easy seat. Back to Sukhasana. Now this brings us to our heart chakra, which is in the center of our chest. It's also referred to as the seat of the soul. This is a special one, and actually our heart chakra is green. I know a lot of people associate the heart with red, but it's actually a beautiful emerald green color. And so since this is the seat of our soul, everything that we do should be done with intention, with loving and kindness. And as you would expect, the heart chakra is associated with love, relationships, but also balance and healing. And when the heart chakra is out of balance, you know, a lot of times when people get hurt, they tend to just close their heart chakra because of the pain. And then what that ends up happening is it leads you to not be able to love or to receive love. And a lot of time people have a hard time forgiving or letting go. And this is so important, as hard as it might be, but to process these feelings instead of suppressing them, because whenever we suppress anything, it will eventually manifest in a physical form in our body. And that's just not healthy. And everyone deserves to be loved. So it's so important to take care of our hearts physically and energetically. So we're going to move through some postures that honor our heart chakra. So we are going to sit back. This is the bridge. I jumped ahead of myself. So go ahead and lay on your back, keeping the soles of your feet on the mat. You want your feet hip width apart, both feet facing forward, knees hip width apart. Your feet should be about maybe a handprint in front of your bum. And check on your shoulder blades. They should be flat on the floor. You don't want the tips hitting the floor at all. So maybe adjust your shoulder to tuck them flat. Arms by your side, palms on your mat. And on the inhale, you're going to push through your heels, lifting your hips and engaging your quads and your glutes for a nice straight back. You want your gaze up. You don't want your chin into your chest. And then slowly exhale, lowering your vertebrae one at a time, bringing your hips back down to the earth. And then if your feet or knees have moved at all, reset those, hip width apart. And on the next inhale, pushing through the heels, lifting those hips, gauging those quads, making sure the knees are staying hip width and they're not flaying open to the sides. Nice strong abdomen. And breathe through here with your gaze up to the sky. And slowly exhale, bringing vertebrae down one at a time, bringing your hips down. Now on this last one, feel free if you want to take the bind underneath your back, you could bring your hands together, clasp them, and then tucking the shoulders in and straightening the palms. So let's go ahead and inhale, pushing through the heels, lifting the hips. So you can get the hips a little bit higher this time. Keeping navel to spine, and feel free to take that bind, clasping your hands underneath. It really opens up your heart chakra here. Gaze up. Continue to breathe. And then exhale slowly, bringing your hips back to the earth. And we're going to rock gently on our backs. If you're feeling a lot of energy, feel free to roll up to Tadasana or come through a seat and then stand up to Tadasana. Awesome. We'll wait for everybody to get to the top of their mats. All righty. Now we're going to move through one more sun sail A, standing nice and tall. Big inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, hinging at the hips, a nice straight back, bringing your hands to your shins to the floor. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, forward fold, planting the hands and stepping back to plank. And moving through chaturanga, and it's your choice, either cobra or up dog, keeping elbows to your sides. And exhale, Down dog. Nice extension through that body. This is an excellent pose for spinal health. It really relieves that pressure in the spine. A lot of people get compressed discs, so this is excellent to alleviate some of that pressure on our discs and our vertebrae. And then our next exhale, bring your right foot inside your right hand and placing the back foot down for warrior one. So that back foot should be about a 45-degree angle. If you want to bring your hands to your thigh for balance and support, make sure your knee is over your ankle again. And you want your chest up. You don't want your chest leaning forward. Your chest should be over your hips, making sure that right hip is back. Tailbone straight down to the earth. And we're going to inhale, arms up. Warrior one. And now bringing hands to our heart center. And then honoring our hearts. You do what's comfortable for you, but try lifting up through the thoracic spine, your upper back, and then bringing your gaze back for a micro bend, bringing your heart up to the sky. And exhale, arms up. And let's frame our foot and push back, down dog. Make sure you're really gripping the mat with your hands, spreading that weight across your palm. And inhale, planting your left foot inside your left hand and coming up for warrior one on the left side, getting your balance, making sure that chest is lifted nice and tall, arms up overhead, and bringing your hands to prayer at heart center and lifting and going back for a little micro bend, looking up to the sky, and exhale, arms up. And let's frame our foot and push back in down dog. And then bring our knees to the floor, sitting on our calves in thunderbolt. Do you guys have blocks with you or something that would resemble a block? Awesome. You want to put it by your right side. Again, we're going to move through posture camel. We'll do half camel. I'll demonstrate it so you can see what it looks like. So I'll go sideways. So again, like what we did in the beginning of our class, we're going to be kneeling. So we want to check our posture. Our knees are hip width apart, hips over our knees. We always want a tall body. We never want to be slouched. It should always be tall, shoulders back. And when we move through camel, we're going to have our hands on our hips. And we'll do the right side first. That's why the block is by your heels. So depending on your body and your range of motion, we're going to inhale our right arm up, keeping our hips forward. We don't want our hips to come back. Keeping our hips forward, we're going to lift and reach back for the block or your heel, whichever's comfortable for you. And then we want to bring our heart up to the sky. Feel free if this is comfortable for you, if you want to bring your hand to your heart, or you could raise it overhead, or if you really want to, feel free to go into full camel and bring both hands back to full camel with the chest up to the sky. Then when we come back up, we want to engage those legs and abdomen. And we're going to pull this in, pulling our chest back up. Okay, so let's prepare, having that block by your right ankle, up on our knees, nice and tall, hands on the hips. We're going to inhale that right arm up, keeping hips forward, reach up to the sky, and then reach back for that block. Check in with those hips again in case they move back, keeping them forward, and then chest up to the sky. Taking whatever hand position, you can leave it on your hip, raise it, it's your choice, whatever works for you. And engaging those leg muscles and abdominals, inhale, pulling that right arm back up to kneeling. And then why don't we come sit on our shins for a second. How'd that feel? Did it go good for everybody? Yeah? Okay. If you have one block, move it to your left, or otherwise have that other block handy on your left side. And then we're going to do the same thing. On the other side, up on our knees, tall and strong. This time we're going to inhale, left arm up, and really reach up and then move back. Reaching for that block, keeping hips forward and chest up to the sky. Engaging those leg muscles, navel to spine, engaging all those abdominal muscles, pulling your chest back up, and then come back onto our shins. And bring your legs forward and back to Sukhasana. All right, so now this brings us up to our throat chakra, and this is light blue. And as you would imagine, the throat chakra is associated with communication, but not just any communication. It's speaking your truth and being your authentic self. And it also is related to our hearing. That's all connected to the throat chakra. So when our throat chakra is out of balance, people tend to be arrogant, dishonest. And on the flip side of that, people who have a deficient throat chakra tend to be quiet. They feel intimidated and can't speak their truth. So they tend to hold it all in. And again, like I was mentioning earlier, then their voice ends up being suppressed, and then that leads into physical issues. And that's a shame, because everybody should be able to speak their truth and be their authentic self. So we always want to have an open throat chakra and always speak from back to loving kindness, being a good person. So we're going to do two postures for our throat chakra. The first one is shoulder stand. So yogi's choice, you can either do a supported shoulder stand or do the full expression shoulder stand. So you can use your block. And again, I'll demonstrate. If you want to do the supported shoulder stand, we're going to lay on our backs and then lift your hips, placing the block on your sacrum, palms by your side like in bridge pose. And then when we inhale, we're going to bring the knees over our hips and then bring our toes up. So you can play around with this. You could flex your feet, point, and then we'll come down like this. And for shoulder stand, we're going to inhale, bringing our knees in and using our hands on our back body, lifting our hips and toes and our gazes up. And again, you can flex, point, you can do straddle, whatever you want. It's your practice. Just have fun with it. So you take your option, your choice, whether you want it to be supported or going up into full shoulder stand. Prepare now. Trying to see what you guys are choosing here. If you're doing the supported, put the block under, you got to lay back on your back and put the block under your sacrum. Okay, so if you're doing supported, you're going to inhale, bringing your knees over hips, and then ankles over knees and hips. And again, feel free to point, flex. If you're going all the way up, really feel like you're bringing either your heels or your toes up to the sky, lifting your hips higher, and using your hands to support your back. And exhale, bending the legs, and then bringing the soles of the feet back down to your mat. We'll pause here, take a breath. And we'll inhale again, lifting knees over hips, and then toes and ankles over knees and hips. Nice straight line. If you're flexing your feet, push your soles up to the ceiling. If you're pointing really energetically, point through your toes. Nice. And then exhale, bending the legs. Bring the soles of your feet back to the mat. If you're doing a supported, gently remove the block, coming onto your back. All right, so our next posture is fish. And this is actually great for a heart opener and for the throat. So we get double duty here. So again, this is Yogi's choice. If you guys have a bolster or maybe a rolled up blanket, you have two options again. If you're feeling really chill today and you wanna just take it on the easier side and you want more of a restorative posture, this is really great to start in Dandasana. You're gonna put your bolster or rolled up blanket by your sacrum. Using your hands, you're gonna slowly bring your spine down to the bolster. And this really opens up your clavicle and your chest, your shoulder blades open up and your throat opens up. So this is a restorative fish pose. Arms by your side, palms up. And then you could just take 3 to 5 breaths here if this is what you'd like to do. If you'd like to do fish pose without the bolster, we're going to be on our forearms. Our elbows should be under our shoulders. And you want to tuck your palms under your hips a little bit. And then on the inhale, we're going to lift our chest and throat up. So our hips are going to move forward a little bit. All the weight is in your forearms. And our gaze is up. So Yogi's choice. If you have the blanket or bolster and you want to do restorative, feel free to do that. And you could just breathe. We'll do fish pose a couple of times, the regular one. If you're in restorative, feel free to just enjoy that posture and take slow breaths through it. So for all those who are doing fish pose, let's make sure we're up on our forearms, legs together, elbows under shoulders, hip width apart, palms of our hands tucked under our hips, and then inhale, lifting the chest up and pushing into our forearms. Gaze up. And take 2 breaths here. And exhale. Oh my. If you're in restorative, go ahead and gently roll over to the side, removing the bolster. I just looked at the clock and the last 10 minutes went by very quickly. All right. So let's come up to easy seat. This brings us to our third eye, which is in our forehead. And this is very interesting. And just like it says, third eye, you know, we think of these 2 eyes that we see with. Well, our third eye actually has a filament and cone in it, just like our regular eyes do, but it's in our forehead. And this chakra is associated with vision, but they're called closed eye vision. So when your eyes are closed, you can still have vision. And I've experienced this. This also has to do with intuition, dreams. And when this chakra is out of balance, a person can be very egomaniac, lack of self-discipline because their ego is taking over. And then also if someone has an excessive third eye, they have nightmares instead of dreams. So we're going to go ahead and come to move through down dog. And really stretch out here. Nice long torso, hamstrings, calves. And we're going to inhale, stepping our feet in between our hands. Inhale halfway up. And exhale, forward fold. And inhale our arms and chest up overhead. Exhale, hand heart center. Go ahead and step your left foot back for wide angle stance. Grabbing that block, putting it on its highest setting. Hands on our hips. Making sure our hips are in line with our ankles, our chest over our hips. We're going to inhale, we're going to hinge at our hips, forward fold. And we're going to very gently, and you can bring your hands down to the earth, place your forehead on the block for that connection with the third eye, keeping navel to your spine, supporting the back. And take 2 breaths here. And inhale, engaging all your leg muscles to the bone, navel to spine, bringing your hands back to your hips, And inhale back to the straight back. And stepping to the top of your mat. We're going to go ahead and come back to easy seats. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Come back to Thunderbolt, sitting on our shins. So this brings us to our last chakra, which is our crown chakra. Sorry, I ended up skipping the pose so we can finish. So our crown chakra is on the top, and this is amethyst. It's a beautiful purple. In fact, I forgot that this third eye is a dark blue. So this relates to higher consciousness. So the higher your vibration, the more you go within and raise your vibration. This is going to raise that purple will go to beautiful white and then even to gold, the higher your consciousness goes. And when this chakra is out of balance, people tend to sometimes have psychological problems, migraines. So this is real important to stay at a more higher vibration instead of lowering our vibration. So we're going to do rabbit pose to honor this one, and I'll demonstrate. So we're going to start in this thunderbolt position. You might need a block depending on your range of motion. We're going to do an inhale, a big inhale, and completely exhale. And as we exhale, we want to bring our navel to spine and up for Uddiyana Bandha. We're going to forward fold, and we're going to try and bring our forehead as close to our knees as possible. Bringing your hands back, you're going to grab your heels, the outside of your heels. And then on the inhale, you're going to lift your hips and place the top of your head on the ground. But you want to use your abdominal muscles in your legs because you don't want the weight to be pushing on your head. Your head should just be lightly touching the ground. So it'll inhale and look like this. And this is really great for digestion. It opens up the back ribs, the intercostal muscles. So again, my head is barely touching the mat. I'm using my muscles for my legs and my abdomen. And then we'll exhale and sit back up to Thunderbolt. So if you feel like you're going to need a block, maybe put the block here. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and try it without the block. So we're going to take a deep inhale. Exhale everything out, hollowing out the belly, bringing navel in and up. Forward fold, bringing your forehead as close to your knees as possible, preparing to put your head, top of your head on the mat. Hands go back to grab your heels if possible. And we're going to inhale, lifting the hips up. Keeping that belly hollow. And exhale, lifting the chest, coming back to our feet. And lift. Putting our feet out, coming onto our bum, and laying flat on our mats, on our back. We'll do a supine twist here. Let's bring the soles of our feet to our mat, crossing our right ankle over our left thigh. And then bringing your left foot to the wide edge of your mat and slowly dropping your knees to your right. On your next inhale, engage your abdominal muscles, pulling the knees back up to center, releasing the legs, and cross your left ankle over right knee, bringing that right foot to the long edge of the mat, and slowly dropping the knees to the left, making sure both shoulder blades are firmly planted on your mat. Perhaps bring your gaze to your right. On your next inhale, bringing your knees back to center, releasing, shaking them out, and preparing for Shavasana. You can go ahead and bring your ankles to the wide edges of your mat. And laying flat, again, checking your shoulder blades. We want our shoulder blades to be flat underneath us, completely connected to the earth. Opening up our chest, your clavicle again. And really releasing everything in your head, your forehead. Soften your eyes, your cheeks, Relaxing your jaw. Perhaps your tongue is at the roof of your mouth. Release that. Letting your shoulders just sink into the earth. Letting everything go. Hips feeling heavy, along with your legs. Releasing and relaxing every muscle. And letting your breath come back to its natural rhythm. Enjoy this piece. You can start to bring the awareness back to your body, and back to your breath. Starting to move your fingers, your feet. And bringing arms overhead for a nice long body stretch. Bringing the soles of your feet, the heels together and pushing through. Nice long stretch. And releasing the arms. And gently bringing your knees to chest for a hug. Maybe a gentle roll side to side. Now staying in fetal position, rolling over to your right side, using your right hand to support your head. And keeping your eyes closed, gently use your hands to push yourself up to easy seat, bringing your hands to heart center prayer position. Yoga doesn't ask you to be more than you are, but it does ask you to be all that you are. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Sorry we ran a little bit late. How's everyone feel? Can you guys hear me?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Laura. That was great.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Thanks.